Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Neshtike Umagyana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapti Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sati Devi Pranamami Hari Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvasesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We continue reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3 and we are on chapter 20. Okay? Just allow me to find the page. I'm not able to find it. One moment, please. 1 and 2 more pages. Oh, are you able to see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So chapter 20, text 27, we are hearing about how Brahmaji is creating the ignorance and how the different living entities are being created. Tvam eka kila lokanam klishtanam klesha nashanaha tvam eka klesha dastesham anasana padam tava. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The words klesha, dastesham, anasan, padam, tava indicate that the Lord has two concerns. First is to give protection to persons who take shelter of His lotus feet. And the second is to give trouble to those who are always demoniac and who are inimical toward the Lord. So this is what even Krishna says, that he comes to annihilate the miscreants and to protect the devotees. So Krishna is always wanting to do that, protect the devotees and to give trouble to the demoniac. Maya's function is to give affliction to the non-devotees. Here Brahma said, you are the protector of the surrendered souls. Therefore, I surrender unto your lotus feet. Please give me protection from these demons. So we can say that, oh, why? How can Krishna be so mean? How come he's saying that he wants to give trouble to the demons? How can we? So we can try to understand in that way. A parent, he has two children. One child is hitting another. So what is the natural response? Of course, the parent is going to tell the one who's hitting, hey, don't hit your brother. Be nice to him, right? So he is immediately protecting the child who's being hit, and he is disciplining the child who's being naughty. So Krishna is our parent, and he does that. So for the benefit of both, to discipline the naughty child and to protect the child who is seeking his protection. So that's why Brahma has come to him now. Give me protection. So if we try to understand Krishna as a parent, then we will be able to understand that why he does these things. What does he mean to annihilate the miscreants and protect the devotees? For Krishna, everyone's equal. He does not uh, say that, oh, only I'm going to be in the heart of this living entity as Paramatma, and I'm going to give them only oxygen and sunshine and rains. Others, I'm not going to give them. No, he's equal to everyone, equal to everyone. He loves each and every one of us, you know. So 20, but just for our to make us better, he disciplines us sometimes. So vadharyasya karpanyam vivikta dhyatma darshanaha vimunchatma tanum goram iti ukto vimumochaha. The Lord, who can distinctly see the minds of others, perceived Brahma's distress and said to him, "Cast off this impure body of yours." Thus commanded by the Lord, Brahma cast off his body. The Lord is described here by the word Vivikta Dhyatma Darshanaha. If anyone can completely perceive another's distress without doubt, it is the Lord himself. If someone is in distress and wants to get relief from his friend, sometimes it so happens that his friend does not appreciate the volume of distress he's suffering. But for the Supreme Lord, it is not difficult. The Supreme Lord as Paramatma and sitting within the heart of every living entity, and he directly perceives the exact causes of distress. So no matter how much good wishes we have for anyone, for our loved one, for our dear ones, we are not able to exactly understand what they're going through. Although they will tell us, they will speak to us about what they're suffering, they will speak about how they are feeling about this suffering, but we are not completely able to understand it. We will still understand it from our own perception, from our way. Although we will try our best to understand the other person, but we can't completely understand. But Krishna can. Because why? Because he's sitting in their heart. He can completely understand how we are feeling, what's the distress we are feeling, what's the pains that we are going through. He can completely feel that. He's the Paramatma in our heart. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Sarvasya Chaham Hridhi Sanivishta. I'm sitting in everyone's heart, and because of me, one's remembrance and forgetfulness occur. So Krishna is sitting in the heart, in our heart, in each and every living entity's heart. We are the soul. So we are sitting inside this heart of this material body, and next to us, Krishna as the Paramatma, as the super soul, is sitting next to us. So there is two. We are the Atma and Krishna is the Paramatma. And Krishna is saying that he gives us remembrance and forgetfulness. Thus, whenever one fully surrenders unto the Supreme Lord, one finds that he is sitting within one's heart. He can give us direction, how to get out of dangers or how to approach him in devotional service. So what do we have to do? We just have to simply say, my dear Krishna, please guide me. What do I do now? We try to understand Krishna's instructions from Bhagavad Gita. We try to hear about him from Srimad Bhagavatam. We chant his names. This is surrender. This is surrendering to Krishna, trying to understand what is Krishna's message of Bhagavad Gita. And so when one fully surrenders, it's mentioned here that one can fully appreciate, oh yes, Krishna is sitting in my heart. Krishna is sitting in my heart. And then Krishna gives us the intelligence. How do we deal with the distresses that we are going through. And we, each of us, have had this experience, I'm sure. Krishna guides us. The Lord, however, asked Brahma to give up his present body because it had created the demoniac principle. According to Sridhar Swami, Brahma's constant dropping off his body does not refer to his actually giving up his body. Rather, he suggests that Brahma gave up a particular mentality. Mind is the subtle body of the living entity. We may sometimes be absorbed in some thought which is sinful, but if we give up the sinful thought, it may be said that we give up the body. Brahma's mind was not in correct order when he created the demons. It must have been full of passion because the entire creation was passionate. Therefore, such passionate sons were born. It follows that any father and mother should also be careful while begetting children. The mental condition of a child depends upon the mental status of his parents at the time he is conceived. According to the Vedic system, therefore, the Garbhadan Samskar, or the ceremony for giving birth to a child, is observed. Before begetting a child, one has to sanctify his perplexed mind. When the parents engage their minds in the lotus feet of the Lord, and in such a state the child is born, naturally, good devotee children come. When the society is full of such good population, there is no trouble from demoniac mentalities. So Krishna had also earlier asked Brahmaji to give up his body when he was running after his daughter, Vak. So Krishna had told him, give up that body because that is sinful. But what was that? Giving up the body, not this physical body that we can see, but the subtle body, the mind, that mentality. So Sridhar Swami is a great acharya who's written amazing commentaries on Srimad Bhagavatam. And so he's saying that whenever Krishna is telling Brahma, you give up the body, means to give up the thought, the sinful thought. And here we are understanding that Brahma's mind was full of passion. And that's the reason such kind of people were being born. And so we are being advised that if we want to have good population, then the mental state of the mother and the father should be fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna. And then if we engage in union to have a child, then the population will be godly population, and there will be peace and harmony in the world. There will be good devotee children whose mental whose mind also will be fixed on Krishna. Is that okay?
Yes.
So, tam kwana charanam bhojam mada vivala lochanam kanchi kalapa vilasad dukula channa rodasam. The body given up by Brahma took the form of the evening twilight, when the day and night meet, a time which kindles passion. The asuras, who are passionate by nature, dominated as they are by the element of rajas, took it for a damsel whose lotus feet resounded with the tinkling of anklets, whose eyes were wide with intoxication, and whose hips were covered by fine cloth, over which shone a girdle. As early morning is the period for spiritual cultivation, the beginning of evening is the period for passion. So how the modes, the different modes are stronger in different parts of the day. In the morning, the mode of goodness is very prominent in the Brahma Muhurat. And in the evening, after sunset, then the mode of passion is more prominent. Of course, mode of passion starts, it already begins, by say 9, 10 in the morning. Then everybody wants to do the activity. I have to do this, I have to do that. And even in the twilight is the mode of passion before the night. Night is then again ignorance. Demoniac men are generally very fond of sex enjoyment. Therefore, they very much appreciate the approach of evening. The demons took the approach of the evening twilight to be a beautiful woman, and they began to adore her in various ways. So the twilight was created now by this Brahma's giving up this body, and they thought it's a beautiful woman. They imagined the twilight to be a very beautiful woman with tinkling bangles on her feet, a girdle on her hips, and beautiful breasts. And for their sexual satisfaction, they imagined the appearance of this beautiful girl before them. 30. Anyonya Shleshayottunga Nirantara Payodharam Sunasam Sudvijam Snigdha Hasa Lila Valokanam.
Sorry, so here Asuras thought that that is the beautiful body, right?
Yes.
Asuras thought that when they saw this. Okay.
Yes. Her breasts projected upward because of their clinging to each other, and they were too contiguous to admit any intervening space. She had a shapely nose and beautiful teeth. A lovely smile played on her lips, and she cast a sportful glance at the Asuras. Guhantim Viryadyatmanam Nilalaka Varuthinim Upalabhya Sura Dharma Sarve Samumuhu Striyam. Adorned with dark tresses, she hid herself, as it were, out of shyness. Upon seeing that girl, the Asuras were all infatuated with an appetite for sex. The difference between demons and demigods is that a beautiful woman very easily attracts the minds of demons, but she cannot attract the mind of a godly person. A godly person is full of knowledge, and a demoniac person is full of ignorance. Just as a child is attracted by a beautiful doll, similarly, a demon who is less intelligent and full of ignorance is attracted by material beauty and an appetite for sex. The godly person knows that this nicely dressed and ornamented attraction of high breasts, high hips, beautiful nose, and fair complexion is Maya. All the beauty a woman can display is only a combination of flesh and blood. Sri Shankaracharya has advised all persons not to be attracted by the interaction of flesh and blood. They should be attracted by the real beauty in spiritual life. The real beauty is Radha and Krishna. One who is attracted by the beauty of Radha and Krishna cannot be attracted by the false beauty of this material world. That is the difference between a demon and a godly person or devotee. So we are all attracted to the beautiful things of this material world. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, so beautiful. So what are we advised? We are advised to look at the beautiful deity forms of Radha and Krishna. How beautifully the deities are dressed. Oh, let me see today what is the shringar of the deities. And then appreciate the beauty of the deities. And then when we get when we get the taste of appreciating the pleasure, the beauty of the deities, then gradually, our attraction to this material beauty will be reduced. So the real beauty is Radha and Krishna. And so that's the reason we see that in the temples, the deities are dressed so beautifully that just by us seeing the deities, you're like, oh, wow. And we just appreciate the beauty of Radha and Krishna takes it as devotional service and he purifies us. We just appreciate, oh, today the deities are dressed so beautifully, they look so beautiful. And we are making spiritual advancement. We are becoming closer to Krishna in that way. We are being purified. Aho rupam, aho dhairyam, aho asyan, navam vayaha, madhye kama yamananam akameva visharpati. The demons praised her. Oh, what a beauty. What a rare self-control. What rare self-control, what a budding youth. In the midst of us all who are passionately longing for her, she's moving about like one absolutely free from passion. So now we just heard in the previous verse that that getting attracted to the bodily forms of this world is Maya. So for here it's written that for a man, a woman is Maya, but for a woman, man is Maya. It works the same way, huh? It works the same way. So it's not that only the man have that thinking, a woman have those thinking also, but it's all, we need to get out of this thinking by appreciating more and more the beauty of Radha and Krishna. Vitar kayanto bahudha tam sandhyam pramada kritim abhishambhavya vishrambad paryaprachan shumedasaha kumedasaha. Indulging in various speculations about the evening twilight, which appeared to them endowed with the form of a young woman, the wicked-minded asuras treated her with respect and fondly spoke to her as follows. Kasi kasi yasi rambhoru ko varthas tetra bhamini rupa dravina panyena durbhaga no.
Is it that they're the connection? Sorry, that is it then there's a connection, like as we see that the twilight in the evening, it is not the right time.
You mean like how Kashyap Muni was?
Yeah.
Kashyap Muni. So, yeah, Kashyap
No,
Muni
yeah,
was
Diti.
telling
Yeah,
Devahuti.
Diti and Kashyap Muni, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the
Could be.
connection, like
Yeah,
how
could
things
be.
are connected. Could be, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Durbaga no vibhadase.
I think that's a time for worship, right?
Yeah, that's the time where Kashyap Muni was saying that, Lord Shiva is out and Lord Shiva is out with his followers. And so he was doing his spiritual practices. It was approaching twilight. It was approaching that time. But Diti was not listening to him. So yes. Yeah.
So it's supposed to be a time for worship, I
That's
think,
right.
right?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
Not for indulging in wrong things.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Who are you, O pretty girl? Whose wife or daughter are you? And what can be the object of your appearing before us? Why do you tantalize us, unfortunate as we are, with the priceless commodity of your beauty? The mentality of the demons is being enamored by the false beauty of this material world is experienced herein. The demoniac can pay any price for the skin beauty of this material world. They work very hard all day and night, but the purpose of their hard work is to enjoy sex life. Sometimes they misrepresent themselves as karma yogis, not knowing the meaning of the word yoga. Yoga means to link up with the Supreme Personality of Godhead or to act in Krishna consciousness. A person who works very hard, no matter in what occupation, and who offers the result of the work to the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is called a karma yogi. So that is what we are advised to do. Krishna, the whole premise of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna wants us to become karma yogis. Do your work. He's saying you do your work. Whatever prescribed duty you have, you do it. But what do you do with the result? Because whenever we do some work, we have a desire to enjoy that result of the work. So, but what is he saying? He's saying, don't be attached to the result. You offer the result to me. You connect the result to me. You see the result in my relation. You see the work also in my relation. He's not saying give up the work, but he's saying you think of me. You offer the result to me, and that is karma yoga. That is karma yoga. Karma to work. Yoga means to link to the Supreme. So that is karma yoga. Not that only working hard and no connection to Krishna, forgetting Krishna and calling at Karma Yoga. No, then that's just karma. That's just karma because there is no linking to the Supreme Lord. So then that's just karma. And so we are advised to give up the mentality of only working without thinking of Krishna. We are encouraged. Krishna is saying, you do your work, whatever you need to do, but see it in relation to me. Think of me, offer the result to me. And in that way, what happens is that our attraction, our attachment to the false beauty of this material world will slacken. We are very, very attached to this material world. We are more attached than we think we are, you know. We might think, no, we are not attached, but we are really attached to be here for millions of births. Means attachment is really strong. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here for millions and millions of births. So then how to give up? No need to give up the work, but just add Krishna to our lives. That's what it is.
Krishna Arpanam Astu.
Krishna Arpanam Astu. Jai. Yes. So yava kachitvam abale dishtya sandarshanam tava utsushno shikshamananam kanduka kritya manaha. Whosoever you may be, O beautiful girl, we are fortunate in being able to see you. While playing with a ball, you have agitated the mind of all onlookers. Demons arrange many kinds of performances to see the glaring beauty of a beautiful woman. So here is written for the beautiful woman. So what does a woman do? She wants to appreciate the beauty of the man. So it works both ways. Huh? Then women shouldn't think that, that these desires are not there in women. No, it's both for men and women. It's written in that, you know. So when a man is reading, it's for him as a woman. And when a woman is hearing, it's for her is the man. Here it is stated that they saw the girl playing with a ball. Sometimes the demoniac arranged for so-called sports like tennis with the opposite sex. The purpose of such sporting is to see the bodily construction of the beautiful girl and enjoy a subtle sex mentality. This demoniac sex mentality of material enjoyment is sometimes encouraged by so-called yogis who encourage the public to enjoy sex life in different varieties and at the same time advertise that if one meditates on a certain manufactured mantra, one can become God within 6 months. The public wants to be cheated, and Krishna therefore creates such cheaters to misrepresent the delude. These so-called yogis are actually enjoyers of the world garbed as yogis. So Prabhupada is telling us that we should not get into all this, you know, this wrong things where somebody is calling himself yogi and then enabling free and open sex. That is not at all spiritual. Bhagavad Gita, however, recommends that if one wants to enjoy life, then it cannot be with these gross senses. A patient is advised by the experienced physician to refrain from ordinary enjoyment while in the diseased condition. A diseased person cannot enjoy anything. He has to restrain his enjoyment in order to get rid of the disease. So for example, I have a bad stomach. If I have a bad stomach, I'll go to the doctor. The doctor will say, stop eating a feast. You just eat yogurt and rice. Eat very light. Don't eat all the fried and the spices and all the snacks and savories and desserts. No, you just have yogurt rice for a few days and take this medicine, and then you will become all right. And then after you become all right, then you can enjoy. So this material life is a diseased condition for us. It is a diseased condition. Why? We might say, no, I'm so healthy. I have a healthy body. I'm so strong. Why is it a diseased condition? The diseased condition is because we are thinking we are the body. We are not the body, we are the soul. And we are right now inside this body. We might say, no, okay, I'm the soul. I know I'm the soul. But where are we right now? Right now, we are inside the body, isn't it? So that is the disease condition. Similarly, our material condition is a disease condition. If one wants to enjoy real sense enjoyment, then one must get free of the entanglement of material existence. So with this material senses, we cannot enjoy the spiritual. We cannot. For us, everything and our perception is with this material senses. But how can we enjoy the spiritual with this material? It cannot. We have to spiritualize the senses. We have to spiritualize the senses. That's the reason we are saying, connect the senses to Krishna. Then gradually, the senses, which are material, will be spiritualized. In spiritual life, we can enjoy sense enjoyment, which has no end. The difference between material and spiritual enjoyment is that material enjoyment is limited. So we want to enjoy. Of course, each of us wants to enjoy. None of us want to become happy. If we hear, oh, in Vaikuntha, we go and over there it is all sadness and anxiety and birth and death and old age and disease, we'll say, why shall we go to Vaikuntha? We are okay here then. For what reason should I go to Vaikuntha? But when we hear, no, Vaikuntha, there is unlimited enjoyment. There is no birth, no death, no old age, no disease, only happiness, only enjoyment. Enjoy as much as you want. And then we get interested. Of course, yes, I want to go there. So even if a man engages in material sex enjoyment, he cannot enjoy it for long. But when the sex enjoyment is given up, then one can enter spiritual life, which is unending. So here, because we always hear that the material, the material world, how is it keeping us here in the material world? By the shackles of sex enjoyment. By these shackles, we are being kept here. And we are advised that if we want to enter spiritual life, then we have to give up this. But so what do we do now? We are very attached to material sex enjoyment. Shall we abruptly do it? No. What will happen? Then we won't be able to. We are going to get very confused of what's happening. If we are so attached to something and we are said, give it up immediately, and we are unable to, the mind is going to create a disturbance. What to do? Gradually, everything gradually. Hear and chant. Just hear and chant. Gradually, the mind itself will be purified. In the Bhagavatam 5.5.1, it is stated that Brahma Saukya, spiritual happiness, is ananta, unending. So how can we begin to experience this unending spiritual happiness? Just hear and chant. Foolish creatures are enamored by the beauty of matter and think that the enjoyment it offers is real, but actually it is not real enjoyment. So real enjoyment is in the spiritual world. And then the more we hear and chant, we get a glimpse of that enjoyment. We feel the bliss. When we are hearing Bhagavatam, oh, what is Bhagavatam going to tell us today? We feel a happiness there. That is spiritual happiness. It's not material. Is that okay? Any comments, any questions, anything to add, anything to subtract?
No, all good.
All good?
Yeah.
So we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for listening in. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shilpa Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Prema, Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. So the idea is Prabhupada is encouraging us, hear and chant, regularly, hear and chant. Chant what? Hare Krishna mantra. Hear what? Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Jai Hare Krishna.